What's going on, guys? I'm gonna do a little bit more of the job search. Am I really looking for one? No, I'm not. I'm just showing you guys how I'm doing it. So we're gonna be using the alias that I've created known as Dexter Burgundy. I got a few responses with this Dexter Burgundy already. I just didn't see it. I was too slow on the response. Let me know if you guys get that notification, by the way. Hit that in the announcements. What up? Chad, Mohammed, what's up? Notification squad. Sometimes I wonder. Alright. So I'm just making sure everything's good. Justin, what's up? Rodrigo. How's your guys' Friday? I got another Pramp interview coming up later today. We're doing algorithms, so that'll be good. Camera looking crisp. I hope so. I wish I could stream at a little bit higher than 1080, but... Ben, dude, what's up? Thanveer, what's up, dude? Make sure you hit that up button. You know, the upward looking one. Or you can press the down one. Just make sure to hit it twice to let me really know you don't like it. Alright, let's look for some jobs. Martin, what's up, dude? Zach. How are you keeping? Dude, I'm good. I'm good. I got a student in about an hour and a half, so... Gotta really, I don't know, I don't have enough time to really go to the gym and get like a solid workout, so I just stream instead. So hopefully it helps you guys out. We got the resume ready. Malik, dude, what's up? Alright, so let's look up some, what should we look? Are you actually applying for possible jobs? No way. I work for myself, that's it. I don't work for other people. Let's do JavaScript. See what's out there. Yeah, I mean, even if you have a job, you should always be on the lookout for a new job, no matter what. All right, there's no company loyalty. That's just not how it works. Unless your dream is the company dream, then you know. But otherwise, I always have that eye open for the next opportunity, regardless. It's your life. How much do you charge for one-on-one assistance? For how long? Like an hour? We got, I don't know. I'm not going to type in junior web developer because junior web developer is just going to be saturated and I don't know. Let's just do front end, I guess. You gotta be careful, the grass is not always greener, right? But like, when I say be on the lookout, it doesn't mean you have to take more money. That just means be on the lookout. When the interviewer asks you your, so for salary, you don't want to give away your number. Make sure to find their budget first. It's gonna be weird, it's gonna be awkward. Like, well, we need to know how much. Well, how about you tell me your budget? What do you guys normally pay? And I'll tell you if I fit in there. It takes a lot of balls to do that. That's just how it is. All right. So we got front-end developer. This is in Wisconsin. 4 weeks ago. It's kind of long. Oh, ASP.NET MVC. Next job. Type front end. Director of engineering. Should I do it? I don't want to go to the Netherlands. Front-end engineer. Do you think LinkedIn profiles are important? They're mandatory, dude. They're mandatory. Every job application that I see says like, please include LinkedIn profile. Experience with Node. Experience with React. Architectures. Okay. So let's look, see what we got here. An amazing opportunity. Competitive cash and equity compensation. I don't know what that means. Flexible work schedule. Unlimited vacation, 2 weeks mandatory. Sick time. They have offices if you want to go to the office. Doesn't look too bad. So what is this like? Is this like Homey? Is this like the Homey competitor? Must be. This is Stack Overflow. It's in the thumbnail. Yeah, alright, let's apply. 90 to 130 plus equity plus remote. Ooh. Apply. See? Apply with LinkedIn. It's always there. Alright, we'll attach the resume. My name is... Well, I don't know. Is there anything like special in here? I don't actually know if I need to apply. Let's just look at the questions and I'll tell you guys what to answer. Do you have experience working with JavaScript in a professional production environment? If so, for how long, number of months, years? Okay, so let's come back over here and look at the mandatory requirements. I think it's 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. So if you don't put 5 years here, you're going to get filtered out by their automatic HR software. Don't do that. So put at least 5, even if you got 2. I just don't give a shit, right? I want a job. Like, yeah, it's a rule and I'm breaking the rule, but what's more important to me, paying my mortgage or putting 5 years here? So make that decision. They've experienced working with React in a professional production environment. Yeah, so they're going to want to see the minimum, I think, what they wanted React experience. I don't know if they noted, like... Yeah, there's no... I don't know, I'd probably put like 2 years. ASP.NET is not my background, it's just my last job. You're not lying, just stretching the truth. Well, I don't care, right? Like, I don't care. This is HR. I'm applying through HR right here. I just don't care. I want to get my foot in the door. Talk to me. Like, the chances of the actual CTO seeing this form and seeing what's on your resume, like, just get your foot in the door, have a human conversation. I don't let this upfront filter software stop me from doing that. Like, that's just not how it goes. I don't let myself get filtered by HR because I know 5 years doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Years experience does not always matter. And so if I can get a conversation going, I'm gonna get that conversation going. You want me to have 10 years? All right, I got 10 years. Let's have a conversation. But like, this isn't a proper way to filter someone out. You can't get to know someone like this. This just says 5 years production experience, I think. 5 years, yeah. Culture fit's one of the top priorities. And I don't know. If I was in the interview and I was like, do you have 5 years experience? No, I don't. They're not going to be like, oh, well, how'd you get past HR? They'll probably be like, oh, interesting. Well, tell me what you've worked with. They're not going to be like, HR lady, come in here right now. This man lied. Like, no. And if they did, I'd just laugh and be like, well, I'm here. You guys, clearly think I have something going on, so let's just keep this going. Or you follow the rules and be like, well, I'm not qualified. Okay. What do you want? Your life. Let's see what else we got. Lead front-end engineer. Let's take a look at this. John, what's up? What if they ask your current salary? Well, add a little, add like 15K on it. Just make sure it's still in the budget. You should look on Glassdoor, right? See what they can pay, and then always tell them that your current salary is the upper end of what their salary is. If you put like the low end, they're gonna lowball you even below that. But there's a little double-edged sword there, right? If they're paying 95 on the upper end and you tell them your current salary is 95, but they look at your experience and they're like, there's no way this guy's worth 95. So you gotta figure that out. It's a little bit the art of finessing. They build drones to inspect wind turbines. This sounds like a fun job. Design and develop the web app. That's neat. What's up, dude? Data science versus big data versus data analytics. They're all relatively similar. Solid experience. So they want you to have good UI, even though this is front end. They want you to have good UI here. So if you're good at, if you've ever made or worked on a site that has had like an amazing UI experience, talk about that here. You have experience with the following frameworks: React, GraphQL, Jest. You don't like PHP. What? You have some experience functional programming. You're fluent in English because it's remote, so they don't care where you live. You're very curious. So this one bullet point right here, you're very curious and won't stop searching until you find the answer, trumps at least 4 years in every case. You work meticulously. People around you don't feel the need to verify your work for quality. Well, I don't know, that'd be kind of a shitty experience anyways. You are fun and have a life outside of work. That's cool. Let's take a look at their application form. Brosiden, what's up, dude? Do these require a college degree? Yeah, if they say they require one. I don't actually care though. Just apply anyways. So, do you have a portfolio of projects? Please link to your projects. So this was really this had a large emphasis on UI. So I would make sure that you link to any company's like main website that you have here. That's like super awesome on the UI, UX end. Even if you didn't make it, just link it, right? Be like, I worked here. What does that mean? Well, that's subjective. You guys can talk about it when you get in the interview. Maybe talk about, yeah, I don't know. High standards, that one's tough to prove. Web app, okay, yeah, maybe link to some web apps. A mobile app, if you've ever had a mobile app. Where do you live? I live in Salt Lake City. Am I gonna do more machine learning vids? Maybe. Probably, if people want to see it. It's really tedious, right? Like, you guys want to sit and watch me work through linear algebra and linear calculus? Like, I mean, maybe like 3 people would, but certainly not 92 people. Move feed, go watch the vid. I just have a vid on that. What else we got here? Software engineer front end, equity paid relocation. So if you like working for free, this job is for you. Yeah, the company, so Thanveer, right? Perfect example here. They're looking for 2+ years experience. He's got 3 months. He still got the job. Doesn't matter. Just, you got to get your foot in the door for that conversation. The conversation trumps some HR filter material. Do you use Gulp for live updates? Nah, I just used the live plugin on Visual Studio. Sean, when am I going to look at it? I don't know, probably tomorrow. Tomorrow's resume review Saturday. VC funded, but they're not giving you any of that money. You get to work for equity. So what that means is when you get to work for equity, that means you get to work for stock in the company, but the stock in the company is not worth anything yet. Hold on. The stock in the company is not worth anything yet until it goes public. And let's just keep in mind that like 90% of startups fail. So you have a 10% chance of the equity that you're working for will have any value. I don't know. Unless you like live in your mom's basement, I don't know how you can work for equity companies. Developer culture. What does this mean? A flexible vacation. If I'm working for equity, how are you going to tell me how much vacation I have? I leave when I want if I'm not being paid. I come back when I want. I'm an absolute baller. Well, I just bend the rules. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. No, you guys are the absolute ballers, really. I mean, you guys are the ones showing up to the stream. I'm just trying to help you guys land that job. I don't want you guys to be held back by some, I said it, like automatic HR filter, because I just don't think that's fair. I applied to GitLab, Diego. I applied to GitLab once, and they told me no because I didn't have enough Stack Overflow presence, and I didn't have enough online like support because it was a support engineer job. And I actually asked them why, besides they told me no. So like, so I was like, can you please tell me why? And she responded. I wasn't expecting it, right? I don't normally expect them to respond back with like, here's why you sucked and you didn't get it. But they told me, they were like, sorry, you just don't have enough of an online presence for us to qualify you as a support engineer. And I was like, oh, okay. So whenever you get rejected, you don't have to type out something emotional, because they're likely not to respond in the first place because they can get sued for discrimination. Even if it's not discrimination, well, is it because of my age? It must be because of my age. Like, stupid stuff. Even if it wasn't, even if it was just because they liked another dude more. So try to just be real professional. Be like, oh, why did you say no? Sometimes they'll respond. You can note that and move on. But not getting closure on jobs is really annoying, but you have to have that outcome independence, that outcome abundance. There's always new jobs. Every day, new jobs. What else we got in here? Remote paid location doesn't mention anything about money. It's a startup, though. San Francisco, remote. Oh, okay. You thrive in a distributed team. So that means like you're cool with working remote. You're a team player, learning, right? So you're always learning new frameworks, languages, and APIs. 3+ years full stack engineering experience. Because it says you're always learning, throw that 3+ years out the window. Doesn't mean anything. Apply. Like if they're open to you just being an absolute, what's the word? Code rock star, then, please consider doing more machine learning videos. My last video is on pace to have more views than 95% of my other videos. Maybe. Can I move the video to the lower right? Yeah, I can. It just, some of these jobs are not laid out like that, but I get what you're saying. So, do you have to meet 100% of their requirements to get a callback? No. If you meet like 20%, I'd say that's more than enough. Move feet, I don't know anything about that, fam. I can't do it. I'm not qualified. I'd have to research. If you want to watch me stutter in front of the camera. The Hero Company. Digital marketing, digital media. Mid-level front-end developer. 4+ years. Okay, pass. strong work ethic, ability to take ownership, and deliver with precision. So I would make sure to talk about these key points right here in your cover letter. This is what I look at. Deliver with precision, ability to take ownership. So talk about how you owned a project in previous, or like even if you're just self-learning and working in a team, not getting paid, just like learning how to code, but you're working with a couple dudes, talk about how you took ownership of that project. You drove it to completion. If 20% is enough, then how do they decide who to take? Because matching requirements, matching bullet points, and filling checkboxes doesn't mean you can do a job. It doesn't mean that you're nice to work with. It doesn't mean that you're going to show up to work on time. It doesn't mean that you're going to do the bare minimum and slack. It doesn't mean that you're a culture fit. It doesn't mean that you're actually always learning stuff. Like, just checkboxes, fam. So here's the skills and requirements. They have it all broken out for you. You know what would be really cool, probably here, if you wanted to land this job, would be to have your resume look similar to this in your skills section. That's what I would do, right? So you list your skills, modify your skills section to look just like this, or very, very similar, right? Maybe you don't match completely, but you know. Are you watching this at work? You're a slacker. I think that you're driven by your own self-interest, which, you know, it's your life, so do what you gotta do. What is this music playlist playing in the background? It's my chill. Unlimited vacation. So I got a little bit. So be careful. I know unlimited vacation looks like it's everything, but the question is, you don't know how much vacation you can actually take. You don't know how much you can walk away with. A little bit of reverse psychology here, right? Oh, you just take as much as you need. Well, how much is enough to where I can say I'm gonna take vacation and you're not gonna be like, well, you're not gonna have a job when you come back. It's always a little weird. You're also at work slacking. I feel like there's a lot of people here probably alt-tabbed or probably doing the bare minimum. Because you have your own self-interest, you have your own dreams, you have your own goals. I don't know. YouTube has always been my full-time thing, and we talked about this in the last live stream, right? Unless like you're super passionate about this company, you really love that company, that's where you want to be, that's where you want to stay, your vision lines up with their vision exactly. Go in and just crush it every single day, because that's your long-term goal. That's where you want to be. Whereas me, that wasn't my long-term goal. My long-term goal was always to do this, interact with people, help people, do YouTube. And so when I was at work coding, I came in, I knew the amount of work needed to impress them, and they were like, oh wow, amazing, and I could get that done in like 2 hours. And then I got 6 hours the rest of the day to just figure out how I can focus on myself. And I know that's kind of, I'm sorry, right? But we all are self-motivated, and that's just the nature of people. But maybe if they had like the exact vision as me, I would have tried harder. But don't go in a job that you hate and just start crushing it from day one, because as soon as you let up on the gas pedal, they're going to be like, well, we've noticed you've been underperforming. Whereas if you go in doing that bare minimum, then you can hit that gas and they're like, wow, you're a rock star. Unless you just really love being there. This is just real talk, guys. This is just real talk. Doesn't mean that you're lazy. It just means that you're motivated by your own self-interest. I mean, as long as you're just like not doing anything. If you're not doing anything about it, like when you go home, or while you're, at work, I don't know. I shouldn't be saying all this, but that's how I feel. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people do. They either love it and they crush it, or they're like, I don't really want to be here, but I just do what I do to get by. And then they go home and they're demotivated from just being there 8 hours a day. And then they go home and they play video games and they wake up and they do the same thing every day. If you're doing that, right, then you should figure out what's wrong there. But I don't know. If that's the case, if you really hate what you're doing, you really hate where you're at, go home and crush it. Or do those 2 hours up front when you first get to work and just figure out how to do your own shit while you're at work. That's it. That's what I did, and that's what I'll always do. if I ever had to take another job for someone, I would just get what I need to done and focus on my own shit, because that's what I want to do. And then it took a long time and I failed a lot, but that's where we're at. I made it happen, right? I'm living the dream, doing the YouTube. What else we got here? A 6 to 8 paragraph introduction. What is this, English class? What is going on here? Please send this in the body of the email and not a separate attachment. All right, so life at the Hero Company. Let's read about it. We create captivating sales and marketing websites to sell those products. We buy ads to drive traffic. We run email promotions. All right, later, dudes. Enjoy your Friday. I know it can be exhausting even to just be present at a job that you don't necessarily like, just to show up to work, even if you work for like an hour and then you're just there the rest of the day and you come home and you're just not motivated to do anything, just because willpower is a finite resource. Energy is a finite resource. It's just how it is. Can you interview an iOS student from Lambda? You want to hear their perspective on the course? Quentin, let me hook that up. Let me make a note. All right, I got you, Quentin. So we run email promotions to our prospects and customers. So if you have experience with Shopify or WooCommerce or anything like e-commerce-y, I'd probably talk about that here in your company. Let's look, Max Armstrong. Right out of college? Ah, dude, apply for this. This is easy. Easy peasy, man. Do this. What else? Yeah, so I'd probably talk about e-commerce and digital marketing. Yeah, like if you have a digital marketing background here for this company, I'd probably talk about digital marketing and everything you know about it. If you know how Facebook ads work, if you know how email marketing works, if you know email templating, that'd probably be a good thing to talk about for this company. Responsive design for those email templates, talking about how to get state-of-the-art email templates with like GIFs and stuff inside of it to really catch people's attention. Maybe a little bit of marketing background. All of this I think would really benefit you in a smaller company. You're the Elliot Hulse of coding? Maybe. I don't know. I don't fluff stuff. I just don't fluff. I'm not gonna tell you that everything is rainbow gumdrops and unicorns and everything will be good if you just try hard. There's more to it than that. Joe Blow, Josh, which do you do first? Get married again or work for someone else? I'd get married. Yeah, MailChimps. You could talk about MailChimps. Yeah, you don't need to wait for your degrees, Zeno. Do I think it'd be unrealistic to have a dev job and full-time university student? So, Zeno, I would probably cut back to part-time university and then get that job to pay for it. Been doing software for about 3 years. Yeah, you've been doing it. You've been not working on your own grind. So this is the thing. This is what I've had to contemplate for a while now. It's you either want to work for someone because you really believe in what they're doing and you see the vision and you like their vision and you really want to do that thing, or otherwise you should just do something that you love, because having 2 days a week to go and explore life with your 2 weeks vacation every year is just not enough. So unless you just really dig their vision and what they're doing every day, on the day in and the day out, it's just try to do it yourself. It's all about self-sufficiency. It's all about motivating. You have to learn a whole lot of other skills to do it. I'm just very pro try to be as self-sufficient as possible. And that's it. Ain't no shame in that. You're building your own dreams or someone else's. What do you think of Hired? I've never had any positive experiences from Hired. I've applied to a lot of jobs at Hired, but they always end up saying, we don't have any matches for you right now. So here we go. On the other hand, if you're self-motivated, growth-oriented, and hardworking, I feel like this channel is eventually just going to evolve into just talking about like Gary Vee and entrepreneurship and how to side hustle and do your own thing. But we could talk about code. It's not that I'm like anti-job, because if you want to do this, you have to get experience, and the best way to get experience is work. And some people just really love climbing those corporate ladders. They just love, working their way up to the company and just like being part of an organization larger than themselves. Whereas I'm like, I have a mission bigger than myself, not necessarily part of something bigger than myself. All right, let's look at another job. Ooh, Smartly. I think we applied to Smartly, or we almost applied to Smartly. Or no, Smartly was the job that I did in the video. Have you heard of dropshipping? Yeah, I have heard of dropshipping. I can teach you how to make 10K a month dropshipping if you buy my course about dropshipping. That's how all of those people making money on dropshipping make money. By selling their course on how to dropship, not by actually doing it. Thanveer, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm just going to say apply anyways. Head of front-end development, React, 80K in Germany. That's a lot. Do they relocate? Visa sponsors. So if you ever want to go work in Germany, they'll hit you up. How long have you had your entrepreneurial spirit? I watched my dad get let go from his job after working the same job for 25 years. And now no one will hire him because he's too old. And he didn't make any connections because he was going to work his way to the top of the company and get his pension and all that stuff. And they took away his pension. They fired him. And then they sued him and took his house. So that was cool. And then I got laid off from my jobs because they ran out of money. And I saw what happened to my dad. And I was like, I have to do this myself. And so when the circumstances meet, you either get beat down. So you can either get beat down by bad things that happen to you in life, or you can get built up. And I've never been one to just let myself get beat down. Maybe for a moment. But I'm just on the floor, knocked down for a moment. But I don't know. No one's going to stop me from doing what I want to do. And that's it. So just a couple years. Open some blinds. If I do, it will... Look, let me show you what it looks like. See? It would just totally destroy everything. What do you think of TripleByte? It seems very popular. The only way that I've heard of TripleByte is through like Spotify ads. Triple buy. No. Why did they sue your dad? Okay, so his company was bought out by a venture capitalist firm, and they wanted to raise the prices on all of the parts that he was selling to his customers. And my dad's like, we can't raise these prices 1,000%. We're going to lose customers, and they can't afford this because some of these people are like mom and pop shops. They can't afford to pay 1,000% more for the same part they've been paying $100 for. Now you want them to pay, And so he quit, and he made his own business, doing it right, doing it fair, because he was the face of the business to the customer. The customer never interacted with the business, just my dad. And so he quit and made his own company and took all those customers that he had because it was his relationship that kept the business going. And without my dad, they wouldn't have that business anyways. Anyways, there was a non-compete clause, and so my dad got sued. And yeah, they took everything. So now I pay my parents' rent and I pay my rent. So I'm going to buy him a house. I'm going to buy him a house in 2 years, and I'm going to make a video, and I'm going to hand him the key. I'm going to be like, Dad, check out my house. Look at everything that I've accomplished. And then I'm going to drop the keys in his hand. And then I'm gonna be like, go live life. You struggled for like 6 years now. Just retire and be done. That's the dream. I'll make it happen. Hong Kong. What did you learn after React and Redux? I learned Symfony 2 and PHP. Because they started giving me like full stack stuff. Also consider zooming in or not displaying your face vid. No, I gotta do the display vid. Gotta get that emotion. What does my dad do? Yeah, he was a mechanical engineer. He was like a field engineer, so he went out and he created parts, manufactured the parts, installed the parts. But now no one will hire him because he's too old. He's not that old. He's like 57, right? So he's not too old, but I tried to get him a job where I worked as a mechanical engineer. When they told him that he's too old. And I'm like, my dad could do my job right now that I have better than me, and I know for a fact that if he was here working, he could teach me to do my job because you guys aren't doing shit. Anyways, I didn't tell them that, but I don't work there anymore. That was a bummer. The feels. It's alright. It feels good Friday, though. Where should we look at? Front-end web dev and PHP. Kenny, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Dude, shout out to the chat. Kenny, you, the rest of the chat. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the support. We all gotta, pick ourselves up through these, to the higher income brackets so that we can live life on our terms. That's what I want for everybody. I want people to be able to wake up and be like, you know what, I feel like doing this today. That's it. Tell him don't write his age on the... Yeah, he does, and then he gets to the interview and they realize how old he is. Could he do his own business now? The non-compete would be passed. Yeah, he could do his own business now because the non-compete doesn't exist anymore. However, he got sued. He lost his house. He had to sell all of his tools that he had that he would have used to make his own business. They took his boat. They took his cars. He had to start selling his tools and stuff, like his whole lifetime collection of tools, because they were garnishing his wage. So he doesn't have anything to make his own business anymore. Right now he works as like a hotel maintenance worker, and it took me like 3 years to get him that job. But we'll get there, guys. We got 2 years experience. You're an expert writing HTML and CSS. You're responsive web dev. You're comfortable developing outside of CSS frameworks. Oh, so this would be good, right? If you like writing CSS grid, if you have experience with CSS grid, this job would be good for that. Or just talk about your, media queries. Michael, I saw that and I showed my girlfriend. I was like, some dude just sent me a picture of my face on his TV in his living room. And she's like, that's kind of weird. And I was like, it is kind of weird. So Michael, thanks for the weirdness flattery. What else we got in here? Optimizing sites for performance. So if you got experience with optimizing sites for performance, you could use a number of things. You could use Lighthouse. I'll show you where you can do that right now. We can optimize this site. Let me show you how to do it. We got this inspector over here. We can pop this out. Expand this. Zoom in a little bit. You come over here and you click audits. So now if you come down here, we can run an audit on Stack Overflow right now. And it will give us all the information we need. Talk about what we could optimize, what we could change. And I just taught you guys how to optimize websites 101. That's a checkbox on your resume. There you go. So progressive web accessibility sucks. Accessibility is Best practices is Speed index is okay. You can actually see screenshots of the website loading piece by piece here. It's kind of nice. Load Poseidon. I know the feel, man. You want every web dev to be a 1%er? I don't know. I feel like everyone should just be improving themselves. And if you create value for other people, you inherently create value for yourself. A lot of people just live for themselves and they chase money. No, you don't want to chase money. You want to figure out a way you can help people. And then the money comes. It's just a side. It's not about, gift is to the giver, fam. WordPress, we talk about that. Parent-child themes, I don't know about any of that. Plugins, okay, that's easy. Proven analytical and problem solving. Okay, so this was written by HR, and the reason I can tell this is written by HR is because proven analytical and problem solving abilities. How do you prove that? What? Yeah, you want to look at some C# jobs? Yeah, we can do that. How do you deal with frustration about keeping up with all the web technologies, all the frameworks and libraries that pop up 10 a month? You can't learn them all, but it seems like you have to know them all. That's not true. So, I don't know how to say that. I'm just going to say Kazinya. That's probably not, but I know it's Russian text there. Anyways, Cyrillic. I would say it's not about what you know. It's about how fast you can learn something. So that's what I always put. It's on my cover letter. I put I'm passionate about web development, not a specific language, not a specific stack. I'm passionate about technology. Doesn't matter what you guys are using. I will learn it if that's what works. Oh yeah, Lambda School's got they partnered with Shift, so now you can go to Lambda School while you're in the military. And I guess Shift helps you through that. It's still pretty new. You guys can go check it out if you want, but not too much into web dev. What are the other options out there for who enjoy programming? You got lots of stuff. You got embedded systems. You got mobile dev. You got game dev. You got cybersecurity. A key wants to know, how do you find a MERN job when there's 3 companies hiring and they have a minimum 2 years experience requirement? Apply to those anyways. Just apply. It doesn't matter. You're not breaking the law. You're not going to go to jail. Excuse me, Aki J. We noticed this says 2 years and you have 6 months. Put your hands behind your back. Assume the position. It's not going to happen. Just apply. Machine learning. How could I forget? Oh, you want C#. Alright. C sharp? No, we just want C#. FBI, open up! We got him. There's not a whole lot with salary in here. Maybe we'll change this to be newest. PC Express, what's up, dude? Social coding architect? I don't know what that means. Sitecore dev. Alright, Sitecore dev. Employees can work full-time from this office, or you could work remote. Sitecore 8+, I don't know what that is. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't really tell you what to do here. We can look at how you would apply, I guess. Talk about your work experience. They do a phone interview, code test, JavaScript pair programming. You got to come into the office to do this. Write a little code, discuss it. So it's basically a whiteboarding test. Can dance. I cannot dance. What's up? You recommend any courses to learn CSS? Just do the free code stuff. Machine learning. C# isn't for serious people. That's not true. It's just what they know, dude. Have you ever sold anything through the App Store on an Apple device? If so, what was your experience? I've never sold anything on the App Store because I have a free app on the App Store. I've never sold anything on the App Store. I don't have anything to sell. I think it's pretty saturated. Only 2 more hours. Dude, I know that feel. Only 2 more. Good luck. Our whiteboard challenge is hard. I assume if you're not prepared. You applied for a software dev position and they said that you were too technical. Alright, well, I mean, you probably should have gauged how they wanted you to talk to them. Can you put a WordPress website online with web hosting? Yes. Does OS matter? No. Doesn't matter when it comes to backend, doesn't matter when it comes to front end. You're going to be doing DevOps in Linux most likely though. That's just life. Alright, front end development. Zach, I was going to approve it. You hit it. Let's see. Amida Technology Solutions, full stack engineer with React.js experience. All right, let's check this one out here. Oh, all right. So, job description. Let's just do a little 101 for your cover letter. Are you passionate about open source? Make sure to mention open source. Are you ready to make a difference in people's lives by tackling tough data? So I would talk about maybe manipulating data here, maybe using high charts or D3. Do you enjoy working on small, tight-knit teams? If you do, talk about working at a startup, maybe. Do you want feedback? Are you always looking to build your craft? Are you always looking to get better? Maybe talk about that. Are you interested in a job that will allow you to choose your own adventure and advocate for technology that you believe in? Well, we don't know what they're doing yet, but let's see. Bachelor's degree in computer science, computer engineering, or equivalent work experience. So you can just nullify this statement. When can you call yourself a full stack developer? Whenever you want, fam. It's just a title. I can call myself an orange potato if I wanted. It doesn't matter. No one cares. It's just a title. I don't let titles define me. I don't let labels define you. +3 years experience. I don't know. Let's see what they're doing. So they're working in data security. They work in healthcare. We specialize in taking data from inception to impact. What does that mean? So if I was doing a phone interview with these people, I would be like, could you tell me a little bit more about what you're doing? Because I read your description and I'm not really sure what I'm actually doing. Exactly, Toma. Exactly. Is there another way to put where? No, you have to pay for hosting because they're giving you space on someone's server. That costs money. Just go to pantheon.io and you can make a free WordPress there. If you want to use custom domain, you have to upgrade and pay. That's it. You're not going to be able to get a dedicated domain, free hosting, and everything else. HTML and CSS for backend? Dude, you need to record these interviews and give them to me and I will put them on blast. Working with recruiters that don't know how to recruit. I should show you my LinkedIn messages that I get. Can I put a tutorial that I did on your portfolio? I did do that. If you go back far enough, you can find it. It's called Why Developers Hate WordPress and How to Make One. Maybe I'll do another one. 2018, how to host WordPress for free. Boom, clicks. Node.js or Python. Why not both? You get turned down every application you send. Time to figure out why. Or, it just happens. It's a little bit of a numbers game. Node is faster. Zach, don't be that guy. It's faster in a negligible amount. Are you a web developer? I'm not. I'm not a web developer. I actually work retail at Kohl's, but I don't actually work at, I work as a vendor, third party at Kohl's. I stand by the door and make sure that when you leave, I take the highlighter and I scan your receipt, and then I say, have a nice day. That's actually my main job. That's what I went to school for. Do you have a tutorial for creating an e-commerce website? I don't know, what solution are you looking for, like a Shopify? You think you need more advanced projects? WooCommerce, Shopify, there's big e-commerce. Connor, just go to Lambda school. You've been asking like 3 weeks. Go, fam. Just go. You can keep up. Don't let me tell you what you can and cannot do. Put your head down. Nose to the grindstone. You'll send the CV? Alright. Get at me. Software engineer, front end, hyperscience. Alright, let's take a look. Oh, we got user experience. I don't know, let's look at something different. What do you want to get? Was like user experience? Some digital marketing? What do you guys want? And before it's just random technologies in chat. Is there a platform to get extra experience? No, I mean, there's not really a platform. You should do a video on how to be a freelancer. Step 1, build a brand. Step 2, learn how to sell yourself. Step 3, learn how to sell your products. Step 4, learn the art of persuasion. Step 5, get a client. I don't know, it's not, that's it. We just did .NET. Step 6, retire. No. Step 6 is to outsource that so you get the projects and then someone else builds it, so that way you're not selling your time. Then you retire. Do you think it'd be less motivated if you weren't making YouTube videos? I was making YouTube videos even when I wasn't being paid to do it because I like doing it. Python versus JavaScript. I can already tell you that they're about equal. JavaScript wins. What attracted me to web dev? I wanted to do a job that was remote. I didn't necessarily care what the job was. And at the time I didn't think I had an eye for design because I didn't really know what that meant because I wasn't an artist. So all I saw were jobs for web dev and I was like, alright, guess I'll learn how to do web dev. Connor. Sign up for the Lambda free thing, dude. I'll teach you how to do it. Do you think JavaScript will be capable of machine learning? It is. It's called Brain.js. It's a library. Alright. Candace wants to see WordPress. Front-end web dev. And before, all you do is modify WordPress. You have 2 years web. Okay, ignore this. If it's like 4 years and under, I just ignore completely. If it's 5 years, you're gonna be probably getting real looked at. It doesn't. I'd still apply though. All right, you're skilled at responsive design. Okay. Oh, we already looked at this. Ins and out of WordPress. You're fluent in web scripting. You're well versed in SQL databases, preprocessors. Wait. Okay. CSS frameworks. So Sass, less. You can do Ajax with an API, get version control. You understand UI, UX, okay. You have experience optimizing, we already did that. Education minimum requirement, ignore, just ignore. I don't know, it looks pretty good. Life here, so let's talk about how we would apply, I guess. I really don't know what they do. Are they just like a dev shop? Are they just making stuff for people? I don't know how people like get these business ideas for like these really niche things. You know, it'd be great if we started making websites for this one specific billing solution in WordPress. Like, bro, how did you think about that? How do you become so confident to ignore stuff listed? You get scared? Okay, well, let me ask you a question. What happens then? Nothing happens when you're scared. You learn CSS, HTML at an advanced level. Okay, well, there's not that high to go, but okay. You did Flexbox Grid. You have to learn JavaScript. You gotta learn JavaScript, 100%. Don't hiring managers that don't code look at your education requirements, and if you don't meet it, automatically deny you? Some of them have automated software. Some of them, if you have a good enough cover letter, they'll just put you there. Did you hear for the NPM event stream vulnerability? Actually, I actually wrote an article on that. No, I haven't. You're gonna go to Australia. You're 20. Do you think you can get a front-end job? I think you're doing the holiday work visa. I don't know. I think you're only allowed to do like farm jobs on that. Which framework is priority today? The framework of priority today is called getshitdone.js because I have a preamp interview, which I'm doing algorithms and data structures. I don't know what my question is going to be. I'm going to be recording it. He's going to give me a question. I'm asking him to reverse a sentence. I don't know. Why do they make it seem like you need all the experience? So this is what when you make a job posting, you put what you would like. You put everything that you would like to have. But only a few of these, right? So I don't know if you guys have read the book called The One Thing. Only a few of these things have the most impact on this job. So there's got to be a couple of these bullet points, which are like 85% of the job, and everything else is like 15%. So these are like, we would like you to have all of these, but really only a few matter. I wish they would highlight what those are in bold, but they don't. Are the words REST and CRUD interchangeable? CRUD is like backend, create, read, update, delete. REST is more like API, Ajax. Paul, what's up, dude? Thanveer, I'm not saying that's what you do, but that's what you do. Your goal when applying to a job is to skip HR. All right? I remember there was a job posting for my company, and the HR lady went to the CTO, and the CTO was like, all right, well, just tell them we want 4 years. Like, they literally gave like 0.01% of their brain effort to give the HR lady requirements, and the HR lady just took that and ran. She just took that shit to the bank, and I was just like, bro, he doesn't know that. I remember thinking, I was like, we don't even use that technology here. Like, maybe he was like reading a blog post or something about some new framework, and he just told the HR lady to write that shit down because he read about it and he was excited. And I was like, what? What is API development? I'll show you what API development is. Does it matter if you make your GitHub portfolio page? No, it doesn't matter, dude. Do it up. No one cares. Just don't make the URL like adult. So this is where's the examples? All right, so this is API development right here. I'll show you guys how to do an Ajax request Well, actually, I don't have my ticket. It won't work. All right, but anyways, this is API development. So you're the guy defining these endpoints on the back end. Let me scroll up a little bit. These endpoints, and you're deciding how this string looks and what the limit is and if they need an API key or not. Certified. Luckily, certifications don't mean anything. Unless you're like a doctor, then you're not, you know. But in web dev, I can write you a certification with crayon. Post link. You want the link to the Giphy API? Hold on. Actually, you know what? We'll just do it. We'll just create one. Here we go. I'll show you how to do an AJAX request right here. Oh, I don't want to log in with Facebook. Can I not log in with... Alright. Because I need an API token. Alright. Doctor or equivalent experience, pretty much. What about certifications from companies like Microsoft and Amazon? You could have a certification from Princeton. I don't give a shit. I just want to know if you can do the job. Some guy saying, great, you studied for a test and you passed, you got a certification. It doesn't mean anything for me. Software development or web developer? Why not both? Isn't coding bootcamp the same as certification? Not at all. Oh, Star Wars API for testing. Alright. Request. Oh, I have to fill this in? Is this my result? Is this people 1? What about people 2? Oh yeah, okay. So people 2 is C3PO. All right, so here's your AJAX request. Come on now. All right, I'll do it in the console. I'll show you how to do the AJAX request live. What do you think about the Elmlang? I don't know. Even as a means to get your foot in the door in the industry. I just don't know if they make a difference or not. I think maybe to the HR lady it would make a difference, but I'm not sure if they'd actually make a huge difference. I know because I've hired people. I've hired people at my last job, and he had like a master's degree in some shit, but like he ended up getting fired because he couldn't do anything. He was all qualified stuff like. Let me make the clarification here. I didn't hire that guy. I was like, it doesn't mean, like, yeah, he's got a nice sheet of paper, but it doesn't mean he could do shit. He had like a master's degree in computer science, and he couldn't friggin' figure out how to make a JavaScript calendar work. I'm like, bruh. Like, yeah, we were just using the open source calendar JS, and it was like, he couldn't figure out how to, like, modify it. Any courses for React? Tyler McGinnis is pretty well known. Is there any scope of PHP? Yeah, PHP is still used. It's pretty legacy, but... Like, that's how he got jobs. He just got jobs because he had nice degrees and stuff, but, you know. Alright, hold on, let me get that .get request real quick because I don't feel like typing that out. Paste that in there. Let me come over here. And then we'll paste this in here. And then we'll do people/1, and then we'll come over here and get this other Ajax. Oh, no failure. Hey, look, so there's the Ajax request in real time. So now it's our job to take this data and print it out onto the page. So here's vanilla Ajax request in your console. One and done. Do I have a college degree? I have a mechanical engineering degree. Mike Hatch knows what's up. How do you land an interview before code bootcamp ends? You do the same thing, just keep applying. Why don't most web devs call themselves software engineers? I don't know why, really. It's just a label. I think software engineer is typically more toward like C++ and machine learning, like lower level stuff. There's no real difference. It's all solving problems. That's what engineers do. Engineers solve problems, build solutions. Label is just a label. I just call myself an intern at whatever job I'm at. Even if I'm lead front end developer, I'm just an intern. No one ever expects anything. All right, let's see. You're trying to do this. You think it would be good to add portfolio as like a one section? Oh, I did these 25 projects? No. All right, you don't get that much time. You don't get that much time a day to do 25 projects. Become CEO, just an intern. You know exactly. Have I met Tyler? Tyler McGinnis, yeah, he lives in Utah. I haven't met him yet though. I remember he went to Dev Mountain and then like he started teaching there and then he realized he was too good for Dev Mountain and he made his own thing and now he's super successful. Are hackathons helpful? It's up to you to make them helpful. Maybe if you like networking. Yeah, you just want to be a solution engineer. You just want to be able to solve problems in general. I would say pick like your top 3 projects and put those on your portfolio because generally no one's gonna go through and click through each and every one. You don't get that much time. Like they got 400 applicants. All right, let's see what this dude made. And like if he opens up your portfolio and he's like, oh shit, like all right, and you've made it. So try to put that project. What's your best productivity tips? Have a list of stuff you're gonna do every single day. Michael, salute. Have a nice Friday. Nicholas, you asked about Finland. How did I like the education in Finland? It was hard. It was hard. I remember taking Calculus 3 on the entrance exam to get into college in Finland against 17-year-olds, and I'm 21, something like that. And I remember just taking Calculus 3 in college so that I could get into college again in Finland against people that are 17 that just learned Calculus 3 in high school. I don't know. The education standard in Finland is a lot higher. There's no bullshit like art class and language arts class and English and Civil War and psychology. You don't take any of that bullshit. You just do straight up. What is your salary? I make $13 million a year. Paid. Outright. By Facebook. Can't do anything. Maybe you should become a life coach. I mean, I don't know. My girlfriend was at work the other day and like this dude came in and they were just like really like, I don't know, full of themselves, and they started bragging about how they make like $14,000 a month or something. And my girlfriend's like, what do you do? And they're like, I'm a life coach. What qualifies you to do that? And keep in mind, he's like 22 years old. What? Do you not timetable it? I don't have to timetable the list that I do because I circle and check things off as I get done. I ask myself the same question like, what is the one thing that I could be doing that would have the biggest effect on my day? And then I do that thing. Yeah, it's true for a lot of countries. You don't have a lot of kind of fluff classes. Also, in Finland, I had to write a thesis, a 65-page thesis to get my degree. You don't have to write a thesis in the US. You just have to do a capstone project, which is just like a final project. Why did I go to Finland? I married a girl in Finland. It wasn't just to go to get the degree there. I was in school here in the United States, and then I moved to Finland because I tried to bring her here, but I couldn't bring her here because it cost a lot more money. So I went to Finland, and then I had to re-enroll in school, and then I applied and took the entrance exam, and they said, no, you failed, sorry, you have to wait in line, and you're number 9 in line. And I was like, so like 30,000 people applied to go. There was 25 open slots. I was number 9 on the waiting list, and I'm like, why would 9 people say no to a free mechanical engineering degree? But somehow I made it in. Any websites with beginner projects to build your portfolio? Yeah, go to Code Sandbox, fam. I'm gonna make a video about this, guys. It's called You Found True Love. Sure did. Straight out to Disneyland. The Disney movie, sorry. So here's Code Sandbox. If you want to find some cool projects that people have built, you can just go to Explore Examples. And you can see all these things that people have been working on. You can see Vue, you can see Angular, you can see Preact, Static. You can see all kinds of cool stuff in here. And you can see how they built it. Toggle. Exiting. Entering. Exiting. And you can see how it's built with React and stuff like this. So this is a cool way to find little features and projects that you want for React. I'll probably make a whole video about this, maybe on Sunday, about how to use Code Sandbox to find cool projects to build. And then you can reverse engineer them because they're pre-built, or some of them are broken and you can fix them. It's a nice little way to find original stuff. Is Canvas worth learning? I don't know. Are you doing a lot of animations? SVG? That's just fun. Yeah. Where do you listen to your sick beats? My sick beats are coming from my royalty-free music website called Epidemic Sound. I tried to get an affiliate link, but they told me nothing. They just didn't respond, so that means no. I'm not big enough. I'm gonna eat this food here that I've just been holding for like an hour and 12 minutes. Mike, you never went there? Yeah, Sandbox is dope. And there's also this other place where you can like there's this one website where the video plays and you can you know how you want to code along with the video? The video is playing and you can like pause the video and edit the dude's code. So it's like it's the same code that you're watching, you can go in there and edit it and see how it's working. Maybe I'll make a video on that site too. It's pretty cool. Doggo, I got snacks. They've been on the ground for like 10 minutes. You didn't even see them. Eat these snacks. How to test your caliber of programming. What's it called? It's in my email. I'd have to find it. Well, I make a simple tutorial on PSD to HTML conversion. Define simple tutorial. To interview, can you say that most places are just looking for experience for the most part? Pretty much. I don't know. It doesn't matter experience. It just matters what your hustle is and how willing you are to learn whatever it is they're using to do the job. So it's a great, like, if you want to, like, here, let's come back. Let's come back real quick. We got I don't know. For example, we'll look up Blavity. That's a weird name for a company. Blavity. Hope it's Blavity because Blavity sounds eh. So we'll come over here and we'll try to find like like a bug on the page, right? So first thing you do is try to see if there's any bugs in the console. So I always look for bugs on websites. We got, I don't know, Acella. This is a great way. Like there's a lot of bugs on most websites that you can find, especially just in the console, or like you can click the buttons to see if stuff's working. Like for example, what is this? What is this website? Like, why is this modal not extending all the way out? This is a design flaw right here. This is stuff that I look for every single time. And like, I'm literally just going through looking at stuff, like, you know, seeing if I could break stuff and then talking about how I found these bugs. So this is a way to get like leg up on the competition. Any bugs? Nope. Oh, only one bug. So they might have an app here. What is this built with? Okay, so this is a WordPress job, I think, though. I was about to give them shit for being WordPress. Yeah, but this is a WordPress job, so their site's built in WordPress. But they still have bugs on it, so. Also, I can't tell if this background is a GIF or an actual. Is it a parallax? I don't know. Content. Uploads. What do they got in here? There's a video. Alright, so I don't know. I just look for bugs. There's always bugs. Lighthouse audit, we could. But it's WordPress, there's not much you can do really. GIF is pronounced as GIF. Toma, I got you. So GIF is GIF. I got you. React and Laravel enough to get the job? Which job? Maybe the job that requires React and Laravel. Oh, GIF is GIF. Zach, I got you. Okay. Thanks for clearing that up, fam. We'll make a whole video about how GIF is pronounced as GIF with a J, so get it right. Oh god, this is terrible. This accessibility report is terrible. Performance, progressive web app. Accessibility is good, but everything else is terrible. Oh, Zach says GIF is GIF. Graphical does not start with a G sound. Okay, so GIF is GIF. Guys, you trying to troll me? Great bait. React or Angular? React. What else we got in here? I don't know. You guys give me a city. You guys give me a city to check out. I'll check it out for another, I don't know, 15 minutes, and I'm gonna go work out. I had a student in 10 minutes, but she canceled, so I got a little longer here. Do you need to learn testing for web dev? React or C#? React. Jarvis lol. Chicago. How do you say gift without the T? GIF. Gift. It's a gift. Zach, enjoy your Friday. Say hello to your 4 bosses for me. Let them know I send my regards. Make sure all of them get their TPS reports. James wants Boulder. This is how you get lurkers to engage. Alright, we'll look up Boulder. There's nothing. Nothing in Boulder. Oh, that's WordPress. So they have C#, C++. What's an affordable city in the US? I don't know. You can live in the middle of nowhere and get a remote job. Nyalash says, I love you. Should we get a room? Let's get a room. Um, oh, my camera's gonna die. Alright, it's gonna go black. I'm still gonna be here. Please hold. Do you respond to Discord messages or just emails? I respond to both. Just changing out the battery to the camera. Alright? Don't go anywhere. I don't know, what do you guys want to see me look at in those places? Any sites that rate your coding knowledge and give feedback on what to work on? Pramp does that. I could show you. Someone gave me feedback, or the Pramp interview that I did, they gave me feedback and said I was a good interviewer, but I need to talk more simple. I could show you. Here's the feedback that they gave me on Pramp. Clear and concise answers. Strong communication skills, good knowledge in front-end tech stack. The only problem I have is that I'm too technical when I explain, and I should be able to explain simpler. I don't know. I didn't know this was a thing as part of Pramp, so it's actually pretty cool. Like, the person rates you, and then you can see what they told. I don't know. It'd be cool to do today's interview. It's at 5. Oh, you want to see? Yeah, Austin has some pretty good dev jobs. Austin has Amazon, I think. So you want to see Portland? Stream it? I don't know if I can stream it. Spring Boot. So Java and Angular. PHP developer for large public website. That's generic. How can you become like me? You don't want to be me. Just watch what I do and then do it better. Do I think WebAssembly will kill JavaScript? No. I don't know. Is this what you wanted to see, Todd? Xamarin and Hamburg. Why React over C#? Let me tell you why React over C#. Because C# has a huge learning curve. It's an entire MVC. You have to learn how to use IIS to get .NET up and running. You also have to learn how models work. React is just a front-end framework. You can get a little bit of architecture going with Redux if you so choose, but React typically has an easier time to get up and running. I don't know. Please talk about your skills a little bit. I'll talk about here, look, just go by my resume. It supports the channel, and you can see all of my skills on my resume. Done. When are you doing another interview vid? I don't know. When recruiters stop Googling my name and find out that I put them on blast. Sure thing, Todd. You don't know enough to Pramp yet? I'm not sure there will be a point where you say to yourself, I know enough to Pramp, so that's when you know that you should do it. It's always better to start early and get totally crushed than to just keep waiting and then still probably get totally crushed because you don't have the experience of what it's actually like. The experience you see in your head is different than what actually plays out most of the time. So I just do it anyways, JE. Does FE dev need to know testing? Depends on the job. Some want them, some don't. Any suggestions on finding work front end? Wait. They don't want to interview you anymore. It's not like that. They just Google my name as they're, as people are wanting to reach out to me to do interviews with me, they're kind of like, looking up my name, seeing what I'm about, and then they look at me. If you Google my name, I'm on YouTube, and then you can see that I interview, I record interviews with recruiters, and they don't necessarily want to be put on blast for being incompetent. You like the light in the background? Chris, watch this. Oh, it already changed. Hold on. Now we'll put it on hype mode, so whenever I talk, it lights up. More CEO and dev interviews. I gotta get more devs. Dude, Chris, what's up? You should make aliases and fake resumes. I do. This is an alias account. This is Dexter Burgundy. Epilepsy mode. It's actually pretty cool. If I put my music on speaker, it just like blasts. It looks like I'm like having a rave in my room. Light washes out the cam? No, it looks okay. I'm looking at it. Yeah, it looks fine. What would you do if they wanted to do a stress interview where they berate you for a reaction? I don't necessarily know what that would have to do with web dev, but if I know someone's gonna berate me for a reaction, I would just stare at the wall. And then I'd probably get up and walk out because I don't let people talk to me like that. That's what I'd do. I'd be like, if you want to come talk to me, you can calm down first and we'll talk it out. But I'm not going to get all flustered. Have you guys seen that what would you do if you have to work with a sarcastic jerk? Probably just play into his game a little bit. Play the power game. Just pretend like he's right about everything. Don't ever disagree. Just, I don't know. Tell him that your tech stack is the best and there's nothing he can do about it. What do you think about app dev? Pretty good. Oh, you wanted to see Xamarin, I think, right? Yeah, there's no Xamarin. Let's read some front-end dev news. Why do we want to see front-end dev news? Guys, on Sunday, just since we're here, we have a community project on Discord called the Grip Project. Chris in the chat is handling all of that. And, well, if you're a part of it, Sunday is the final day to get that in. And then there's a payout. Chris, what's the payout up to? What's the actual reward? I don't know if you actually negotiated with that lady or not. So we're paying the winner. I know for a fact we're paying the winner. Temp, Arizona, $250. So the winner for the project who has the best community projects gets $250. Deposits. We'll go there after Mr. Nick. Temp. Looking pretty decent. Front end software posted yesterday. Yo, this is for USAA. I mean, it looks fairly... Temp is a pretty big town. A lot of front-end developers needed, apparently. Here's front-end, full-stack web, or Rails. Reactor Vue, please. You'll probably find Vue easier, but if you want to take the easy route, I would recommend against. Chris, you need to not be at work right now so that I can just bring you on the stream. And then you can motivate everyone. Tell them your story from call center to $150K a year salary. Will you keep the full vid later? Sure will. Is front end easier than back end? I don't know. It's subjective. Depends on what. I don't know. That's subjective. Air Force wants you to make an inventory web app. I don't know. Don't make it in PHP. Make it in Angular. Use a pipe filter. Boom, done. You graduate from boot camp. You're moving to temp, so hoping to find a decent junior job. Mr. Nick. Mr. Nick. Mr. Nick. Mr. Nick. Fam. Don't limit yourself to decent junior. Limit yourself to decent any job, okay? Title doesn't matter. You want responsibilities, you want to make progress, you want to learn, you want a good mentor, you want someone that's open to you asking them questions. It doesn't matter if it's, okay, I get if you need money, right? But like, a job goes both ways. You don't want to work with someone, every time you go ask a question, he's like, I don't have time right now. And then 2 weeks later, he comes over to you and he's like, we noticed that you're not performing well. You know, what's going on? And then you're like, bro, I try to ask you questions all the time, so I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm stuck, but you won't help me. I can tell you this from experience because that's what happened to me at my PHP job. That's what happened to me. He's like, all right, well, if you got any questions, just come and let me know. And so I would. And then he would be like, sorry, I can't right now. I'm busy. I can't right now. And then we went on our walk. And he's like, Josh, I noticed you're not performing very well. It took you a lot longer to complete that task than I wanted it to. And so number one, I'm like, why the fuck would you say that to me? Because that's kind of a shitty thing to say. And then number two, I was like, bro, I come to your office like at least once a day and you dismiss me. So make sure that you find someone that lets you ask those questions that you need to make progress. Made it in PHP. I don't know, just use DigitalOcean and set up Apache there. Are startups good to start out versus a large corporation? Large corporation is going to let you go really niche into what you're doing. Startup's going to say, hey, we know we hired you for this, but we really need this thing done. Can you do it? And you'll either be like, well, that's not my job. Or you'll be like, hell yeah, I do it. It's either a hell yeah or it's a no. What was my response to him dismissing me? What can you do, right? I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to try my best then. And then I'd ask the other devs and they'd be like, we're busy. And I'd be like, okay, well, I'm just going to sit here and play on my phone for the next 7.5 hours until I can go home. Because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And then eventually they were like, actually, Josh, we hired you on for this project, but that fell through. And we found another dev willing to take your salary. And he says, this dev has 4 years experience and you have 6 months, so bye, Josh. And I was like, all right. Never forget. I remember it was the last day. It was the last day where, like, at the end of the month, we all have our like walk-arounds around the building, and everyone went, and then I went, right? Everyone goes around the building, and then like you're doing your one-on-one with the boss, and he was just like shitting on me the entire time, the first time we did that. And then like a few months later we had that one. And then after everyone else did theirs, we were going on mine. And instead of going for a walk around the block, he walked me straight into the CEO's office and was like, Josh, it's just not working out. We found another dev that has 6 years experience. The project we hired you on for no longer exists, but he's willing to take the same pay as you. So it just makes more sense to hire someone with more experience willing to take your pay rather than open another slot and figure out what we're going to do with you. And I was like, all right. And so what would you do in that position? Like, wouldn't that, and so then you don't have a job. But luckily I had a side job. I had a startup job, side job, so I worked that. And then they ran out of money, and then I had no job. And then I got another job, and then they ran out of money. So it's just been like, this is why I'm so pro do it yourself. Do this shit yourself. Be self-reliant, so you don't ever, if some guy's like, well, we thought it was, gonna be shorter, and we're really disappointed. I can just give him that big F you money. I don't actually have to work here because I don't need the money. So you can take this and you can shove it. And so that's why I'm very pro entrepreneurship. Because it's happened to me so many times. Maybe if I had better experiences, I'd be better, but I just haven't. So this is the path that I'm on. I remember telling my my startup boss that I was working at, my side job. I remember telling him about 3 weeks out before this happened. I was like, bro, I can't read this guy. I keep coming to him for questions, and he just keeps like brushing me off, and I can't read him. I don't know his sense of humor, and I don't really suck up to people that much, right? Whereas the other devs were like you ever met someone that like laughs whenever someone else in a higher position of authority is laughing just because you want to be, he starts laughing, he's like, oh, and then everyone else starts laughing just because, and I'm just like sitting there like, bro, that's not even funny. Like, I don't do that. That's just not how I am. And I told him like I couldn't read him. I couldn't like figure out how to make him laugh or communicate. And he's like, yeah, it sounds like he's kind of weird. And I was like, he won't answer my questions. He says come ask questions, and then he doesn't. And they were like, yeah, that sounds kind of shitty. You should probably figure that out. And then like 3 weeks later, I just like walked in, and they were like, what happened? You're here early today. I was like, yeah, they let me go. And I was like, and they were like, oh, okay, cool, yeah. And I was like, could I have like an extra 10 hours a week in the meantime? And they were like, yeah, sure, sounds good. And I was like, appreciate you. I'll come let you know if I got more questions. And then they ran out of money because their business model changed, and the investors were like, no more money. And they were like, sorry, Josh, we basically need money to pay the full-time devs, and you're part-time. So, and I was like, that's cool. I got another job in the meantime. Thanks for giving me those 10 extra hours a week. And that was it. Can you make a vid on how to be a successful entrepreneur? What? Yeah, I mean, this is the life of a junior dev. The life of a junior dev is not talked about, but you're in the most eliminatable position. You're in the most replaceable because you and 900 other people behind you want that job. And so then you get a little bit of momentum. You start learning a little bit about the tech stack. You get involved into one tech stack. They give you a little raise, and then they let you go. And now you have this weird amount of experience where you started learning the systems of one company, but you can't transfer that knowledge to another company because they're not using the exact same systems anymore. You don't have enough experience to transfer. So to them, you're just some guy who wants more money than your junior dev and isn't as hungry. So it's like, that's the life of a junior dev that no one talks about. It's just a really awkward, like, And then you get to mid-level, and you get like 2 years experience with some, React and PHP under your belt. And then do you call yourself a mid-level? Because you're just mid-level at this company, whereas another company that's, Anyways, I'm not trying to complain because I wouldn't be here if none of that happened, and I wouldn't have the same drive if none of that happened. I wouldn't have the fire, none of that. I guess we're just done flying, so we'll just hang out. Can you check out Detroit? Yeah, I hit up Detroit, but I don't have the screen up there anymore. Freelance as a second job to keep your skills current and a possible solution to that. That's not how it always works. If you freelance as a second job, you still have to have clients. The problem with freelance, the bottleneck of freelance, is making sure that you have enough clients in the pipeline that are still going to be there when you get to them. If you have clients that say, yeah, we'll be in touch in 3 months. Well, what if they need it done now, but you can't because you already have a client, and so that client goes elsewhere. So now the whole time you're working on this client's project, you're distracted by the fact that you have to have another client because you might lose your full-time job. Like, that's not... Alice knows. How long does it take to be a mid-level? It's subjective. It's subjective. It depends on the company. What's the next vid for today? I'm doing data structures and algorithms to prepare for Google. So that Google technical interview, I have to reach out to that lady and schedule that Google technical interview, and then I'll film it. This is how we get to 100K by the end of the year. Chris, you gotta get this camera. It's a GH5. It's like $1,400 bucks. $1,500 bucks. Comes with a camera. I got it. It comes with a lens. I got it at Best Buy. Are you a full-time YouTuber? No. I'm a full-time hustler. Dude, how did you get another Google interview? The lady reached out to me because they were waiting on me. They were like, just let us know when you want to do interview 2 because interview 1 went super well. And I was like, okay, but I'm not really interested. I don't. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just do part 2 just for content. People want to see what a technical interview is like at Google. I'm going to get crushed because data structures and algorithms are not my strong point. But sure, I'll record it. Just so that you guys can be like, well, you should have just done X, Y, and Z, Josh. Why don't you know about this and that? Like, I don't know. Hope you enjoyed it. At least it was entertaining. Have you ever thought about going into app dev than more than web dev stuff? Nah. App dev is like, I don't know. So this is the thing about app dev. From my perspective, you can have the best app in the world, but if you can't get your app in front of people, then no one can buy it, and then no one can use it, and then your app's going to fail. So I'm not about to spend my time to make an app unless I know I can get it in front of people. If I go on site interview, will you film it? Yeah, I'll film it. I'll take my GoPro right here, and I'll put it in my suit and tie pocket right here on the chest, and I'll have like a little screen so that I can record everything going on in Google. No, that's how you get sued and lose everything. I can't. So I don't think that you could do that in California. You're not allowed to record people in California without their consent. Whereas in Salt Lake or in Utah, in Utah you can record. It's just a one-party consent state in Utah. If I'm on the phone, I can record it. If I'm in public, I can record it. I consented to record it, so I'm recording it. But in California, that's illegal. The other person has to agree that you can film them. Tips to get wrecked. Exactly. You can't ask them. They're going to be like, hell no, you can film. We got NDA, we got proprietary stuff. That's how you get sued. Why would I even ask? Number one, they'd be like, well, why are you recording it? And then I'd be like, well, I don't actually want the job, but I'm just recording it for YouTube. And they'd be like, well, bro, we just spent $800 flying you out here, giving you a place to stay, and then bringing you in for a day, and paying your lunch and dinner, and you don't even want the job? Jake, what are you talking about? Think about it, fam. Have I heard of Newmont College? Yeah, I see that on the billboard. And so when I see, like, I don't know, when I see colleges being advertised like businesses, it just really turns me off. Let's see, Newmont College. It's like, get in, get out, get coding or something. You admire my willingness to put myself, like, I never feel ready to do things, and that's how I know I have to do those things. If I know it's going to make me feel uncomfortable, I have to do it. That's how I grow. I put myself onto the fire, and I get crushed, and then I do it again, and I do better. Let's look at Newmont College here. $24,000 after financial aid. Graduation rate, 62%. Acceptance rate, 83%. Is there a guarantee? Oh, you like the headphones? They're RGB. Are you a Utah or BYU fan? I'm not a fan. I don't watch sports. Just not my thing. I'm not from Utah, so when would you recommend starting Code Bootcamp if you're currently studying in college? Do it in the summertime. Take a summer off, hit up Code Bootcamp, and then get a job after the Code Bootcamp, and then make that job pay for the rest of your college. Laravel or Yanni? I'm going to say Laravel. 9 months to a new career, so that's pretty long. Associates of Science in Software Development. Is there a degree? Accredited by ACCSC. Okay, it doesn't matter. No one gives a shit. Is there a guarantee? Do you get your money back for the degree if you don't get a job in like 6 months? If it doesn't, don't go. Web dev certificate. Oh, so this is like an online. Is Newmont College a for-profit college? I'm getting the vibe that it's for-profit. It has a bachelor's in game development, and I've only seen schools that have bachelor's in game development as like ITT Tech. It's like you can't get a bachelor's degree in game development. It's just one piece of game development is a bachelor's degree. You can't have a game development degree like in everything. Laravel? You thought it was Laravel. Yeah, it's Laravel. Where do you work, please, sir? I work at Google. I'm actually the CEO. I'm hiring right now. It's 50 cents a week, no benefits. You do get dental, though, but you have to pay it yourself. We offer vision. It comes at it's a prorated rate, so the longer you work here, the more expensive it gets. And then we also provide paid lunches, so like you pay for the lunches, and dinners and breakfasts. So I think it's just it's a great place to work. We offer very limited vacation, not unlimited. Don't get it confused. Sign me up. Who wants to work? We actually we try to extend the leash from your cubicle just far enough so that you can get up and stretch, but we try to keep that leash on you at all times. It's for everyone else's safety, okay? We know that you get a little crazy here working 19 hours a day, so the leash is actually extendable, and if you're here long enough, we'll upgrade you to 13 feet away from your cubicle, but other than that, you're required to be here at all times. Would I consider 85K a lot for mid-level? I'd say 85 to 100. So 85 is probably on the lower end. I don't know, it's alright. I'd say 75. So it's a little bit higher. With courses like Java, .NET, C#, and C++, you'll be prepared to tackle any software challenge. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Here, you guys tell me if you think this is legit. What would be your dream job? I'm living it right now. How much did you get paid your first dev job? Full-time was $50,000 a year. Spend up to 20 hours a week. Wow. Career options. So this is like programming based. This isn't specifically for that. I just don't see anything here for results. Let's look at alumni success. This looks like a brochure. Like this entire website looks like a brochure. Patient rage, keep up the good fight. Hey, thanks, man. Let's watch a success story. Please hold while I pause the music and we get real. Junior, no.
I'm Brett Cotter, Principal Software Engineer at Vivint, and this is my Newmont story.
Oh, he's got a Newmont story. Here we go, guys.
graduated from Newmont University with a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science.
I graduated in 3 months.
I heard about Newmont through a family member. I was looking at maybe transferring schools. I had started work at a help desk, and I loved what I was doing. And I thought instead of...
He's not allowed to say he hates what he was doing.
The things that were going wrong with programs that I was working with, that I wanted to actually write them. I chose Newmont.
Got to get the fingers typing. Got to get the fingers typing when you're doing the programming shot.
Prior to coming to Newmont, I didn't have any experience programming. No development experience at all, just my help desk experience. Vivint is the largest home automation provider and also one of the largest security providers in North America. At Vivint, I support our field service department, so I work with our field service management and develop the mobile app that our field service professionals
Gotta get that mobile shot.
As they do installs and service calls throughout
85%
US,
acceptance.
Canada,
I think
New
it's
Zealand.
62% graduation.
In my career, as far as Newmont's concerned, is just the must-do project experience attitude that you have. It doesn't matter what you're doing there. It's always, whether it be a lab or with a company, it's always working on doing something instead of...
I promised they didn't pay off all the debt that I owe because I wanted to do a advertisement for them.
The first company that I worked
Was that C#?
They develop call center cloud solutions. The project that we worked on...
Oh my god, dude, I can't. Like, I have the attention span of a goldfish. I can't do this. What else should we look at? We got a few more minutes. Should we look at some other... I saw gets and sets. C# has that too. I wasn't sure if it was Java though. Yeah, C# has that. Oliver. Ah, dude. Slow, boring dude on a vid. We gotta get some hype stuff. Let's take a look at some boot camps. You guys want to see some boot camps? Jake, do you lift weights? Nah, bro. I don't know. If you guys want my opinion on a boot camp, please post and I will review it. Would be a good plan if you want to be a self-taught coder. So far, you've been using Team Treehouse and Skillshare. You might try Udemy, but you want to finish the front end. That sounds like a good plan, Daniel. Lambda doesn't have a video that we can watch. Michael knows. Yeah, if you do YouTube, you have to have the muscles. Win code. All right. The coding bootcamp in Miami. All right, good. Not built in WordPress. Part-time 12 weeks. Digital marketing. Corporate training. What the hell? No. That's a terrible user experience. Great grads. Is there a guarantee? That's all I want. I don't know. I feel like we should watch something motivational. You guys know who Jocko is? This is my favorite video. I've been watching this like every day, at least like once a day.
One of my...
He's like an ex-Navy SEAL. FCC's in your price range? Exactly. Now we're going to watch this. I'm going to watch this motivational video, and then I'm going to leave and go to the gym. So good.
One of my guys that worked for me. He would call me up or pull me aside.
He's an ex-Navy SEAL. He has such a great podcast about motivation.
And he'd say, "Boss, we got this and that and the other thing." And I'd look at him and I'd say, "Good." And finally one day he was telling me about some issue that he was having, some problem, and he said, "I already know what you're going to say." And I said, "Well, what am I going to say?" He said, "You're going to say good." He said, "That's what you always say. When something is wrong and going bad, you always just look at me and say good." And I said, well, yeah, when things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it. Didn't get the new high-speed gear we wanted.
That's how I feel about applying to jobs.
When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out, don't get startled, don't get frustrated. So get up, dust off, reload,
I'll link it.
recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
That's it. That's all there is to it. That's my motivation for the day. Okay, I watch that stuff. I watch that stuff a lot. At the bottom, the comments are hilarious. That it's like, one of them is like, the comments are so good. Main parachute failed to deploy. Good. Go to reserve. Reserves fails. Good. Prepare for impact. It is so good. Forget to buy condoms. Good. I've always wanted kids. The comments are so good. If anything, just go read the comments. But I'm out, guys. You knew I'd be a Jocko fan? Yeah, I do. But seriously, that's what life is, right? You got to turn them around. So, all you dudes out there getting demotivated when you're not hearing back from jobs, same thing. More time to get better. More time to study. This makes me want to go to the gym. Yeah, I know all of you memesters in the chat are like, ha ha ha, it's such a joke. But you guys are the ones that project your insecurities the most. Real talk, though. I'm out. I'm going to go to the gym. Hope you guys have a great Friday. Thanks for hanging out. And, I'll see you guys in the next one.